really dark in my area right now, and it's raining cats and dogs. Okay, so this is default value property. We are going to start from default value property. Now, what is default value property? I'm opening a database here. Default value property means if you want to provide a default value to any field, like I'm opening this one, that is employee details over here, and I want to give a default value to this. That is, I want to set a default date. Or let me start with an easy one. Let me take employee table, and salary I'll be taking as minimum salary I want to fix as 5,000. Okay. That is, even if somebody has not entered any value, so the default value will be considered as 5,000, but the person can, data entry operator can change that value according to his or her requirement. So what we are going to do is, this is the employee table. We will switch the view. Let me open my glass brick application, which will allow me to magnify, zoom in and zoom out. So now over here, I'm at salary. You can see I'm at salary over here. So I'll be going to the properties over here, and default value I will provide as 5,000, and I will save it. Now I'll switch to the data sheet view, and you can see that this is the record area. This is the area for entering a new record. But you are getting 5,000 over here. Suppose I type some value here. So minimum salary is already set to 5,000. Even if I skip this, it is going to work. But if I want to change it, I can do that. Understood? So you can see that in the place folder for a new record, already 5,000 will be displayed. That is, the data entry operator wouldn't have to think much. Or if suppose it is like many employees in the company, they get a common salary. Like most of the people or majority of the people get a salary of 20,000. So you can set 20,000 as the default value, such that the data entry operator doesn't have to work that much to enter that value. Understood? Likewise, you can set a default value for any field. You can also set it for designation. Like I go to this option here, and I'll first select designation. Then I'll come down here, and in place of default value, I will set the designation as assistant. As you can see that everywhere, most of the data, that is assistant. So I can set the designation as assistant. That is a default value. And if I want, I can change the designation of the person. I don't like the designation assistant, or Amit Raj is not an assistant. Maybe he is an operator. So I can change that also according to my requirement. Okay. But if I want, I can even leave this assistant as assistant only, because I can see that most of the employees work as assistant. So you can take default value as the value which is frequently used in that field. Next is required property. Now, what is required property? Required means something which is mandatory. That is, you cannot leave the value blank. Like, for example, increment due. Now, this can be left blank because I'm not planning to give an increment to all the employees. But yes, I had already, Raj Sharma was in the process of getting a promotion, and hence he should also get an increment in his salary. So his increment is due by this date, right? I can also change this date to any date. Suppose he's supposed to get this in the year 2021. So his increment is due on 1st April 2021. But I have not promised the same, or this is not the condition with the other employees. So I can simply skip that. That means I can leave these values blank. That is Okay. But salary, is it possible that any employee will work in your company without salary? Tell me.
No, ma'am.
No. So I have to provide a salary to all the employees. Hence, my table should also contain the salary value for all the employees. That is, I cannot leave this blank. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go to view now because already default value is there. So even if the data entry operator skips this, he or she can skip this value. It will not be left blank. So let me try to insert that somewhere else, maybe in department number. That is, I cannot leave department number empty. All employees should work in some or the other department. So I'll be going to the design view and I have to select department number from here. Now I have already selected department number. I'll be coming down and here I will find a required property and I will set this to yes. You can see a drop down arrow and set it to yes. Save it. Okay, it says this process may take a long time. Do you want the existing data to be tested with the new rules? You can say yes. Switch to the data sheet view and here I am going to type another value and I'm leaving this as blank. So it is not blank. You can still see 0 there. So I'm just pressing, removing that 0 and pressing enter. It gives me an error. You must enter a value. And that is the reason why by default it took the value 0. So I have to enter some value only then I will be able to move to the other field. Understood? So required says that entering a value is mandatory. You cannot skip this value. Just like when you were filling your online response sheet for your first unit test. There were two fields which had required property. Can anybody tell me which were those two fields?
Ma'am, name and class and section.
Name, class and section. These were the two fields which were required. Okay, that is you cannot submit the form until and unless you fill these two field value. But the other questions, they were not having required property. How did you understand? You might have seen a red colored asterisk there in your required field. Understood? So that is what is known as required. That is, it is mandatory to fill the value for these fields. Next is, let's see this hands-on computer. Okay. Let's try this out. Open the database contact details created during previous activities. So I'm going to open that. How to open a database which is already created? Can anyone tell me? Just tell me the steps. How to open an existing database? This question is open to anybody. Anyone can answer. Yes, students. How can you open an existing database? जल्दी बोलो. Right now this is opened. Okay. Where will I go first? Which option will I click first?
Ma'am, to file
We'll go to file.
File.
Okay. Now.
and open.
Open.
Okay. Fine.
And
And
then
can you
we
see
can
contact
open.
details here? Yes,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
visible over here. So I don't need to go to browse. So I'll click on this and it opens and I have to first enable content only then I'll be able to save everything. So I've opened this. Now I'll read. Open the table contacts in the design view. So this is the table contacts. Let me double click on it and switch the view and this is the design view. Next is change the date format of the field to medium date. Yes, who will give me this answer? क्या करना है सबसे पहले? Read it very carefully. The third point which we are seeing, change the date format of the field DOB to medium date. You have to change the date format of the field DOB to medium date format. How will we do that? What is the first step?
First we will
See, the
click
table is
on
open.
Ma'am, we'll
We'll click
first
on
select DOB.
Click DOB.
Yes,
DOB.
very good. We selected DOB. Now next.
Then
Format.
we will go to
Ma'am, we'll go to
Format.
format.
Already,
format.
yes, already it is set to medium date. You can change it to some other format using these options. And as according to the question, it is already medium date. So we will leave it as it is. Okay. Fine. Next is add a new field named monthly income of the type currency. Add a new field named monthly income of the type currency. How to do that? So for adding a new field, you can simply click on this blank row over here and type it. So what is it? Monthly income. And what should be its data type?
Currency.
Currency. So just type C and you will get currency there. Understood? Fine. And after you make changes, you have to save the changes also. Next is change its format such that to show signed amount with no decimal places along with rupees currency symbol. Okay. So it has to be a rupees. It has to have a rupees currency symbol and no decimal places. So we'll go back again. We have selected this. So let's go to, it's already, 1 second. Already the format is currency, decimal places. So we'll go to decimal places and no decimal places are needed. So we will select 0 from here and okay. And the other thing which is said, that is signed amount, this will be done using what? Your input mask, which we will be seeing in the next class. So I'm going to save this monthly income. As far as currency is confirmed, what is it? Who is it? Harsh. Harsh Kumar Kachi, 10th. What was that remark you made just now? I want an explanation. You said something like Acha. What is this? Harsh Kumar Kachi. Yes, I'm talking to you only. Unmute yourself and give me an explanation. What was that?
Ma'am, I don't know, ma'am. Ma'am, I just now came.
I clearly heard your voice, my dear. Anyways, don't repeat this.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we have already set currency over here and you can see the numerous formats for currency. You can see the format for currency over here and we are going to select this one, that is with a currency symbol. Okay, so by default also it takes up the currency symbol. Any field which has been set with currency data type, it automatically takes up the currency symbol. You switch to view and you will already see this currency symbol over here. I type anything and you will automatically find this currency symbol over here. Next is change its format. Okay, we have done save the table with the new modification. We have done that also. Next and very important, we are going to see data validation. Now, what is data validation? So I need to give you some explanation regarding this. So data validation means again restricting the data entry operator such that he or she cannot enter wrong value. Data validation. Okay, so it is basically used for restricting data entry in a table. Okay, using table constraints, that is to restrain someone. If I say restraining something, that means I am bounding that, I am establishing some limits around, I am putting a boundary around the person. Understood? Restraining something, किसी चीज को रोकना. Got it? So table constraints, using table constraints and restricting data entry so that only correct data can be entered in the table. Correct data means the user is not allowed to enter wrong data. Some examples. Salary cannot be negative. Can we have a negative value for salary? Can somebody receive a salary of 0 rupees or 100 rupees? ऐसा देखा है salary. Wages can be 100. Even wages are not 100 these days. They are minimum 300 per day. Okay. So when I talk about salary, can salary be 100? Can salary be 0? Can it be a negative number? Answer is no. So minimum salary you can fix as, say, the employee who works at the lowest level of hierarchy, that employee gets 5,000 as the salary. कम से कम 5,000 रुपए की salary तो होनी ही चाहिए. So that means the lowest salary which you are fixing is 5,000. The default value which we saw some time ago. Okay. So now what I am going to do is, even if that is there, if there is a possibility that the data entry operator may accidentally, he wanted to enter 50,000, but accidentally he or she entered 500 and pressed enter. Just imagine manager getting a salary of 500 rupees. Does that make any sense? No. So that happened because of the error of the data entry operator. Hence, what is to be done? Some restriction has to be applied so that the data entry operator can only enter correct data, can only enter value which is minimum 5,000 or greater than that. Okay, so that way, because you know what happens, data entry operator, no matter how smart he or she is, the data entry operator works for long hours, and the work of a data entry operator is also very repetitive and it's kind of monotonous. Okay, that is going on entering records and records the whole day. At the end of the day, because of fatigue, the data entry operator may also commit some mistakes. No matter, it is quite possible that the data entry operator has some 90 or 95% accuracy in entering the data, but still we cannot rely on that 5%. So that is the reason why there has to be some constraints which could be applied on the table such that the data entry operator can enter only correct value. Or suppose the date of birth of somebody, suppose date of joining of somebody is, let me take today's date, 29/08/2020. Okay. Can the date of birth be Can the date of birth be this? ये हो सकता है क्या date of birth? Tell me, date of joining in the company is year 2020 and date of birth is 2017.
No, ma'am.
मतलब वो बंदा जो है 3 साल का है, he is a 3-year-old kid who has joined the company. Is this possible? So you can even set this date of birth. Okay. तो इस पे भी आप restriction लगा सकते हो कि at least there should be an 18-year difference or a 20-year difference. Okay, between the date of joining and date of birth. Understood? So date of joining should be 20 years plus the date of birth. ऐसा आप कर सकते हैं. Understood? So this is what you are applying a restriction on the data. You are setting a password field. Okay, that password should not contain more than 10 or 16 characters. So that is again a restriction which you are applying on that field. Understood? So these are what, this is what data validation. So for this, we will be using a validation rule property. So there are certain, watch this table very carefully. To create a validation rule, the following set of relational and logical operators can be used. Now you need to first understand, because this is something which will give you an insight into programming, basic programming. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you something about operators. Please note it down very carefully. Here we will be using what? Relational operators. What are relational operators? Less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, double equal to, and not equal to. Now let me just check this not equal to sign, what they use. Okay, here they use this sign. Whereas universally, the not equal to sign is this exclamation mark followed by equal to sign. Anyways, just make a note, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, this is greater than or equal to, this is equal to. Now for equal to, I think they have used single equal to. Yes, double equal to is used in programming languages like Python, C++, Java, and so on. Not equal to. Please make a note of these. When I say less than equal to, normally in mathematics you write it like this. And when I say greater than equal to, you write it like this. But we have no way of writing a symbol this way. So that is why we will be using what? Less than equal to and greater than equal to in this way. Now, who will tell me the difference between less than and less than equal to? What is the difference between the two?
Ma'am, in less than the value should be less, and in less than equal to it can be less than a particular value and it can be equal to it also.
Less than or equal to. Suppose I have two values, A equals 5 and B equals 5. If I write A less than B, is it true? Both are 5. So this will give you what result? False. A is not less than B. But if I write A less than equal to B, then this will be true. Why? It is not less, but it is equal to B. Did you get the difference between the two? If I write A equals 16 and B equals 20, and I write A less than B, what will be the result? Yes, tell me, students. Value of A is 16 and value of B is 20. It will be true, right? If I say A less than equal to B, what will be its value? True ही होगा ना, because it is less than B,
Yes.
right? And if I write A equals 16 and C equals 16 and I write A less than equal to C, what will be its result?
True.
It will be true because it is not less, but it is equal. So less than, equal, or greater than equal, they say there is an or in between. That is, either it can be less or equal, either it can be greater or equal. Okay, equal to says both LHS and RHS should be equal. LHS should be equal to RHS. That is the meaning of equal to. And not equal to is for which sign? This not equal to which you have used in mathematics. Fine. So we are going to use these relational operators. Now, apart from these relational operators, you also have some logical operators. One sec. Logical operators. What are the logical operators? And, or, and not. Okay. Now, what does and say? Please note this down. These are very important points if you have to work with data validation. Both sides, or one second, conditions on both sides and should be true if the final result is to be true. Even if either of the sides is false, the result is false. Next is or. First write these definitions, then I'll give you the explanation also. Conditions on either sides of or can be true for the final result to be true. If any one condition is true, result is true, and result is false only when both sides or both conditions are false. And not, it negates the current value of condition. If condition is true, it will make it false and vice versa. Please write these 3 points in your copy, then I'll explain it.
Attendance.
Thank you for reminding. If you have written it, then kindly give me a yes.
Written. Written. Yes.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll see each of them. First is and. Now what does and say? If I write A equals 5, B equals 6, C equals 7. So I write A greater than B and B greater than C. Tell me, is A greater than B?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No.
So what should
No,
it
ma'am.
give me? False.
A less than B.
Okay.
False.
In between and. B greater than C, that is also false.
False.
Now there are false and false on both sides. So just note it down. Because there are only two values, false and true. So there could be 4 combinations for this. And if you are using and operator in between, this is statement A, this is statement B, and I have A and B. So false and false will give you false. Okay. False and true. There is one false. एक statement तो false है ना? दोनों true होने चाहिए. So even if one of the statements is false, result will be false. true and false, what will the result be?
False.
True and false.
False.
That will be false. True and true. Result
True.
will be true. So it is true. The result of and is true only when both sides, both the conditions are true. Here both the conditions are false. So final result will also be false. Now I write here C greater than A and C greater than B. So what is C? C is 7. And what is A? A is 5. So 7 greater than 5 and 7 greater than 6. Now tell me, is 7 greater than 5? Yes.
True.
So that will be true. And is 7 greater than 6? Yes, that will be true. True and true will give you what?
True.
But if I write here,
True.
A is greater than C and C is greater than B. So A greater than C, 5 greater than 7 and 7 greater than 6. So first one will be false and 7 greater than 6 is true. One of them is false, result will be false.
False.
Okay. But the opposite is OR. Now what does OR say? You have two statements A, B and A or B. So you write F or B, F or T it should be. Or says even if one of the statements is true, the result will be true. So here it will be true, it will be true, it will be true. Only the first one will be false when both are false. So I have and I write here A greater than C or C greater than B. So what is A greater than C? 5 greater than 7 or 7 greater than 6. So first one will be false or 7 greater than 6, that will be true, false or true. So there is one true at least, so the result will be true.
True.
And what does not do? It just changes. I write it is a unary operator, that is it accepts only one operand. So whatever is false, it will be changed into true, and whatever is true will be changed into false. Like if I write not A greater than C. What is A greater than C? It is 5 greater than 7, which is false. Not false will make it what? True. So false का true बना देता है, true का false बना देता है. So just remember these, and now we will switch over. So we have these operators over here. Then you have some operators like between operator. Please look at it very carefully. I want to set the minimum salary in a company as 5,000 and maximum salary cannot exceed 5 lakh. Okay, so minimum salary I want to set as 5,000 and maximum salary I want to set as 5 lakh. So I will write it like this. Suppose I have a field named salary. Salary between, okay, 5,000 I cannot write with a comma separator because comma is a special character. It will make the value alphanumeric. So I have to write it this way in the form of number only. Between 5,000 and 5 lakh. So salary between 5,000 and 5 lakh. So this between is a keyword and is a keyword that is a reserved word. Okay. So here you can say that salary should be between 5,000 and 5 lakh. Age of a person. You can say age should be greater than or equal to 18. That is, if I want to specify that I am taking the records of students who are doing their PhD programs or who are working in a company, so they cannot be minors. We can only have adult people working in the company. So for that, I have to take the minimum age criteria as 18. So age field should contain minimum 18 value. Salary field should contain minimum this and maximum this. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is in. Test for the list of values. Like I say that in a particular table, suppose I have an employee table, and within the employee table I have a field named city. And in my company, I am giving employment only to those people who live near Bhopal. Okay, live in Bhopal or in cities near Bhopal. That is in Madhya Pradesh. So there are a select cities only from where I am going to accept employees. That means I am going to accept employees from Bhopal, Indore, not even Gwalior. Gwalior is far away. So I'm going to accept people from maybe say Jabalpur. And I can also accept people from Bilaspur. Okay, Bilaspur is in Chhattisgarh.
Ma'am, Itarsi.
Itarsi, yes, I was thinking about that. So these 4 cities, okay, I'm only going to accept people from these 4 cities. So I will write the condition as city in. Within a list, I will be providing the values. Bhopal, Indore, Jabalpur, and Itarsi. And you can also note that each of these values is a string value, that is alphanumeric value. So I have enclosed that within double quotes. Okay, so this you have to pay attention to. Next is not. Suppose you want to restrict the people. Now, I don't want those people who live in these cities to work in my company. So I will make it as city not in, and this whole list. That means I want to accept people who live in those cities which don't fall within this list. They should not belong to Bhopal, Indore, Jabalpur, or Itarsi. Next is not. So it is for converse value, like not greater than 10. So it will accept values less than or equal to 10, and similarly like it will have, now understand this very carefully, students. This is, we are going to see something. Like is basically for pattern matching. So I want to, now 1 second, let me just suppose you have a table, and in that table you want to start a particular, there is a field, and you want all the field values to contain a specific substring. Substring means part of a string. That is, you want the field value to contain at least these 3, A, B, C. So you will write what? Suppose the field name is, I ID, any ID like what ABC. So that means anything which contains ABC can be accepted within that field. Now this thing you may not understand this quickly, so I'm just going to skip this for the time being. We will see it a little later. So now we'll start with this validation. Now this data validation is of two types. One is field validation and the other is record validation. So we'll start with the easiest one, that is field validation. What is the difference between the two? So please write them and then I'll explain. Field validation, it refers to the validation rule applied on one field of a table. And record validation, it involves only one field. Whereas record validation it refers to a validation rule which is applied on more than one fields a table. As an example, let us see. For field validation, all the examples which I gave you, like I said, salary between 5,000 and 5 lakh. When I say this, so this is a validation rule which is applied only on the field salary. I say age should be minimum, it should be minimum 18 years. So this is an example of field validation. Why? Because only one field is applied over here. But when I say DOB or DOJ should be greater than DOB, that is DOJ should always come after DOB. Understood? So when I say this, that means I am involving how many fields? Two fields of the table. One field is DOJ, one field is DOB. So there it becomes what? Record validation. Having one field means field validation, but having more than one field means it becomes record validation. So we will start with the easiest one today, that is field validation. Okay. So let us first check our table and see where we can apply this. So let me go to the database, that is company database, and here I'll go to employee table and let me apply a constraint on this, that is salary. So how will I apply a constraint? So watch it very carefully, students. So for this, I will be first going to the menu over here. I've already selected the salary field. Now I'm going to the table tools tab and I'll go to the fields tab. And over here, I will be going to the field validation section. Now you can see three things: required, unique, indexed. And along with that, you can see validation. So I'll click on validation and here you can see four options: field validation rule, field validation message. Validation rule means this is a validation rule for record validation. Like you can also see the example: start date less than end date, and validation message. So we are going to select which one? Field validation rule first. So we are over here and check the name of the field, that is salary, capital S and rest everything small. So I'm going to type it like this: salary. I'm going to even zoom it a little bit more. Salary, it should be Suppose I write between 5,000 and 5 lakhs. Click on OK. So existing data violates the new setting. Do you want to test it? Yes. So now what we are going to do is we are going to test this setting over here. We have minimum as 5,000 and maximum we'll try to change it to, first we'll try to change this data to say 500. So it's giving me an error message. What is the error message? One or more values are prohibited by the validation rule set for this table, and what enter a value expression for this so that this field can accept. So why did it give me the error? Because I entered some value which was less than 5,000. So it will not allow me to save the value till I enter minimum 5,000 over here. And let me change it to 5 lakh and even more. Here also it's giving me a message. So if I reduce one, okay, so it is still giving me an error. Maybe it accepts something like, okay,
Ma'am, you said maximum for
okay,
50,000.
50,000, 50,000. Okay, fine. So I just
Ma'am, but
enter 50,000 over here. So it accepted this. I will change this. I'll go to
ma'am, but in
validation rule. Huh?
ma'am, but in the
You?
manager section, the salary is 55, but it's not giving any error.
Have you checked it? That is because right now what this value was already entered before. Let me try to change this, make this as 56,000, and now it's giving me an error. That value was already entered. Now see, validation rules and all these things, they should be set beforehand. That is the reason why they should be always set beforehand before the data entry operator enters data into the table. Understood? So students, we end here only, and then we will continue in the next class.